everybody. This is Kevin Davidson, your host for Kevin's Corner Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective, and this is episode number 92. It's also the weekend of Easter, so everybody have a happy Easter, whatever it is that you're going to do this weekend. Just be safe, and not too much candy for the kids because they can, go crazy all day and they won't go to sleep. But enough of that. This is Kevin's Corner. I want to invite you guys to check out this episode. This is going to be a special episode because it's with a friend of mine from a previous professional experience when I was in property management. He's still in property management now. But I always start off my podcast by letting everybody know that if you are a real estate agent or a vendor and you operate in the Fort Bend County area and you'd like to be on the podcast, give me a call. 832-654. I don't even know my phone number. 832-654-0527, or email me at kevin.davidson@stewart.com and we'll get you on the calendar. I'm about 3 months out. It's probably August before I get you on, but give me a call. We'll get you on. And I also couldn't do the podcast if it wasn't for the wonderful ladies in both of the Richmond and in the Sugarland office, Caitlin Cornick, Devin, Van Wynn, and Kate Cannon in Richmond, and all of our support staff. If it wasn't for you guys, couldn't do the podcast. So thank you very much. Now that we get all that out of the way, let's get episode number 92, the Easter episode of 2025, underway. This handsome young gentleman is my friend Mohsen from Texas Lone Star Property Management. Introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are, what you do.
Hello, everyone. I'm a residential property manager. The company is Texas Lone Star Property Management. Yeah.
Here in Houston, Texas.
In Houston, Texas, we go an hour radius of downtown. We have plenty in Fort Bend that we manage.
Okay,
yeah.
Awesome. And let's talk a little bit about Mohsen first before we get into the property management company. So what were you doing before? So you own this company, right? This is yours.
That's correct.
Okay. What were you doing before you decided to buy a property management company?
Well, I will say I have a partner here as my broker.
Yeah, Mr. Pete Newby.
Pete, yep.
Yeah. Hey, Pete, what's up?
Yeah.
But what were you doing before you went into partnership with Pete to buy this company?
Well, we started this company. I owned another company before. Had that for a couple of years. We were able to sell it. Mm-hmm. Operated about 2 years.
Another property management company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then before that,
I worked with you.
Yeah, with me Pete's. And Pete, and
yeah, I worked over at Empire with Pete for about a year and a half, maybe, and then he sold to Mind, mm-hmm. and I went to go work with him.
Unfortunately,
yeah. It all got us on the path we're on. So I know
it did.
I know he has no regrets. I know you have no regrets. I absolutely have no regrets.
Yeah.
But
I was having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We were the fastest growing, biggest property management company in America.
Yeah.
So I mean, we were creating and setting records that no one had ever achieved before.
He built a great team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Steve. Yeah.
So you've got plenty of property management experience.
Yes.
And so now you own and run Texas Lone Star Property Management here in Houston. Mm-hmm. Tell everybody a little bit about, everybody kind of knows what a property management company does, but tell them what your residential property management company will do for your clients.
Okay. So essentially we're the middleman between the landlord and the tenant. We're a full real estate brokerage. If the property's vacant, we're going to send a photographer out there, market it. We absolutely pay realtors. We work with the realtors, getting on the MLS. Mm-hmm. Once we fill that property with a qualified tenant, we're going to deal with all the tenant phone calls. We're going to collect and distribute the rents. We're going to handle all the maintenance, all the billing. Yeah, just basically we want to let that landlord sit back and
buy more investment properties so you can manage them.
That's right.
So when someone calls with a maintenance request that's a tenant in one of your properties that you're managing, how does your company handle maintenance? Walk us through that process, because every property management company is different, and some suck and some don't.
Right. So we do have a 24-hour maintenance line. Seldom gets used. More than 99% of our maintenance calls, they're going to go ahead and put in a work order mm-hmm. through their resident portal. We're going to contact the tenant, try to troubleshoot, make sure it's not something simple, and if we need to send somebody out, we're going to coordinate between them and one of our vendors. We're going to send them out to get out there.
And you have the vendors. The tenant doesn't have to hire their own vendors and deal with all that stuff.
Absolutely not. I've been using some of these vendors since Empire.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah, we've got some good ones.
So if I come to you as a investor or a landlord, they're kind of the same, and there's a difference between the two. A reluctant landlord and an investor, tell everybody what a reluctant landlord is.
Somebody that didn't plan on owning a rental property.
Right.
You know,
Their company calls them and says, "Hey, by the way, I need you in Dubai in 3 weeks," but they don't want to sell their house.
exactly. Or somebody gets married and they're not in a position to sell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you got your reluctant landlords, and then you got your real estate investors. If I'm a real estate investor or a reluctant landlord, and I need to lease for you to manage my property, and it needs a tenant, what's that process like? How do you get a good tenant in the property and get one in that's going to stay for the length of the rental agreement?
Well, we have a strict set of criteria. We've had the same criteria for years. It's posted on our application link. So before somebody pays that application fee, they know exactly whether or not they're going to qualify or close enough. And we just can't deviate from it, you know.
And then you collect the rent. When's the rent due?
Rent is due on the 1st. Our lease, we charge the late fees on the 4th. As long as the rent's paid on time, we send out every month on the 10th.
And do you, the money to the landlord?
That's correct.
Okay. And then do you guys also handle, let's say that the tenant's not paying and it's time for them to be removed. Do you handle that process as well?
Absolutely. And then it's about setting expectations. Our eviction rate is less than 1%.
That's good.
We're going to collect rents on the 1st. We're going to send 3-day notice to vacates on the 5th if they haven't paid. And if they still haven't paid by the 10th, that's when we're going to file the eviction.
Okay.
And we do tell them you can stop the eviction process by bringing your balance up to date. You're also going to have to pay for any eviction filing fees that we may have had. But as long as you're up front, set the expectations with the tenants, you know, we're not going to have much problems.
Right. What kind of properties do you manage? Or more importantly, which ones will you not?
Okay, well, single family is the bread and butter. You know, no problems with duplexes, triplexes, quads. I've managed up to about 25 units. I don't actively seek out the apartments. If they come to me and seems like it might be a good fit with the owner, I'll take it on. But it's not something I actively look for.
Okay. So you pretty much like single family homes?
Yes.
And it reminds me of something that Steve used to say when I used to run around with him marketing the company. We only make cheese pizzas because we're the best at cheese pizzas. We don't add pepperoni. We don't add nothing else, just cheese.
Yeah.
So stick with your bread and butter. Can you also help someone buy a new or another investment property?
Absolutely. So, like I said, we're a full real estate brokerage. We have plenty of clients that will decide to sell some of their assets. Sometimes we can sell them in-house to some of our other investors. They don't have to go on market. Another thing we can do is work with the tenants. Every lease, about 3 months before it expires, we're reaching out to the tenants, see if they're interested in renewing, if they're or if they're ready to purchase their own property. Right. And we'll work with them to get them pre-approved and try to find them a property, or sometimes buy the property that they're renting.
Okay. All right. And then do you have any, I don't like to use the word, but do you have any guarantees or programs that you offer your landlords or investors to help them feel better about the fact that you're managing it and not somebody else?
Not necessarily guarantees, but we offer protections. One of our packages we offer, and it's probably the most popular item we have, is the eviction protection. That means that if we place a tenant and we have to evict them, we're going to cover the eviction cost. You know.
There you go. So if they come with you and the house has already got a tenant,
can't offer that.
That you don't, but because you didn't put the tenant in the building.
Exactly.
Okay, so understand the difference, guys. If you let them place the tenant, they'll actually offer you the protection program. So in case a tenant goes bad, you take care of the cost of getting them out and getting another one in.
Absolutely.
All right. And then let's get around to a little bit of a marketing. You have an agent referral program.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We get a lot of our clients through an agent referral program.
And tell us about the referral program, exactly what it is.
So with the real estate laws, if you were to refer someone to me, the most legally I can do is give you a $50 gift card.
Mm-hmm.
But if an agent sends me a referral, I can pay them a commission. So we pay up to $500 per door that an agent sends our way.
That you end up managing.
That we end up managing.
So agents, understand what he just said. If you send him a property, not a client, a property that they get to manage, you're going to get $500 as a referral fee for that property or that door.
That's correct.
The reason I'm saying it this way is because if you're one agent and you refer him 3 doors at the same time, $1,500.
That's right.
It's $500 per door, not per client. So if you're not working with real estate investors, I recommend you do. Don't try to work with them if you've never done it before. First talk to this man, because if you deal with a real estate investor the same way you do a traditional home seller or a buyer, you're going to lose them. Okay? Because what is an investor more concerned about?
The bottom line.
Numbers. Doesn't care what color the wall is. Doesn't care if there's a pool in the backyard. He just wants to know that he's going to get the return on his investment that he's looking for. Right?
That's right.
So as an agent, you can add real estate investors to your pipeline, to your business model, and now you've added additional passive income to your business model, and it makes life even much easier. And do you guys, if the owner decides to sell, do you give the property back to the agent?
Yes, we do.
See, that's another thing. I'm smiling because I used to do this, but what agents don't understand is that most property management companies, most of the bad ones, when you refer your client to them, they're gone. They're going to do everything they can to keep that client from you. What he's going to do is, if the investor, your client, decides to sell, they're probably going to call Mohsen first, because Mohsen's managing the property, and he's going to tell them, I want to sell my property. Mohsen's going to then turn around and try and find you, right?
That's absolutely correct.
You're going to look up in your system, find out who it is that referred it to you, and you're going to call them, email them, text them, whatever you got to do. Say, hey, by the way, this client that you referred me 2 years ago, he wants to sell. Call him so you can relist the property.
That's right. We can flag our referral source to each property. Yeah.
There you go. So not only do you get to help them find the investment property in the beginning, you get a referral fee from Mohsen for letting them manage the property. Can they lease the property?
They can. We do pay only $250 if they're going to list the rental
instead of the $500.
That's right.
So if you let Mohsen lease it, it's $500. If you refer it to him, you still get a referral fee. But if you lease it, it's only $250. But that's 3 sources of income. And then year 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, when he decides to sell, you get to list the property again. That's 4 transactions with 1 property. Where are you going to get that kind of love from anybody? You're not, okay? I'm just here to tell you you're not. So is there a name for your referral program? Or just referral program?
It says agent referral program, but we're going to say let's go ahead and get you deputized.
There you go. Okay, because he's a Lone Star property management company, okay, in Texas. I'd like to be deputized. That'd be pretty cool. Get a little star. Matter of fact, that was a little squishy thing in the back.
That's right.
That's right. I remember that. So I think I might have one in the Richmond office. Let's tell everybody a little about I know you're trying to grow your business and get more doors. How are you getting your leads right now?
Most of it is through agent referral program.
It is through the agent referral. Okay.
Most of it is. I office out of a building off of 290 in Hollister. It's a Texas Real Estate Investment Center. They do a lot of continuing education, a lot of.
Is that where? I think I've been there. That's where Katie used to work there.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. I know where that's
Those
at.
guys are gone, but there's still plenty of other tenants out there.
Those guys are gone?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But that building still does host a bunch of real estate events, and plenty of people walk by my office all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go up there to some of their classes, and yeah, I'm able to get some business from the investment
Awesome.
center. Yeah.
Awesome. And then, do you have any other way of marketing your business? Do you have website, social media, anything like that?
We do have a website, TexasLoneStarPropertyManagement.com. We have a Facebook page, but not too much other than that. We're in a couple of publications, but yeah, no radio, no Google ads.
Are you doing any kind of pay-per-click, like Manage
No.
My Property, anything like that?
Nope. Right now,
Okay.
it's all just
Okay.
agents and word of mouth.
What are some things that you'd like to do in the future to market your business that you're not doing now?
I would say, I don't know. I think the game has changed. Radio obviously doesn't pack the punch that it used to.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard mixed reviews on the Google ads and and definitely the Facebook ads. I'm hearing mixed reviews, so I'm not exactly sure. So I got to speak to a marketing expert.
Gotta
such
come
as
talk to
yourself.
me.
Yeah.
So there's hundreds of ways that think about what I did at Empire when I was the marketing guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't buy Google ads. I didn't buy Facebook ads until later, and it worked well for me at the time. But the main reason, the main way that we got the word out was through just me and Steve getting ourselves out there,
Yeah.
doing videos and social media and posting everything, putting it on the website, putting it on in the CRM on the drip campaign, and just getting out there. So those things, and then I don't know how you feel about public speaking or presentations or anything like that, but there's not a property management company that I know of right now that is going around to agents and trying to teach them what a property management company does.
Yeah, I've gotten to speak to some agents. Definitely need to go ahead and get certified to do some of these classes.
That's how I started out with Empire.
Yeah.
And once I got certified and started teaching the classes, I was in almost every brokerage within about 6 months.
Yeah.
I think I spent less than half my time at the office. I was everywhere else.
Yeah.
And Steve would call me at 5:30 in the morning. Where are we meeting today, buddy? I'm like, right now, I'm still in bed, so we're not meeting anywhere. If you call me again at 5:30, you know how he is. He's at the gym at 4:30. Yeah, man, there's no secret sauce. You just got to get yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the last time you were here, we had a conversation about doing some marketing and getting yourself out there and getting in front of my classes. And that's all there is to it, man.
Yeah.
You want to double, triple your leads from real estate agents?
Absolutely.
Double and triple what you're doing for them.
Yeah.
Get in front of them 3 times as much as you're getting in front of them now. Because the barrier is they don't know. They don't know you exist. They don't know that you will give them $500 for a referral. So if you'll do it, if you'll get out there and put your program out there like I did, you're not going to be Empire, but you'll be close. No one's going to beat my record. What else should they know about Texas Lone Star Property Management Company? Anything special? What's coming up in the future? Any awards? What else should they know?
Well, I would say one of the things that sets us apart is accessibility. I really got turned off with one of these larger companies, seeing how they treated some of their clients with the inflated maintenance fees, and they really looked at these property owners as a number, as a file. But no, I take a more personal approach with my clients. They all have my personal cell in case of emergencies, because the majority of real estate investors only own 1 or 2 rental properties.
Right.
So. Yeah. I think more personal touch, more personal service.
So when you call into the office, you're not going to talk to a computer. You're not going to have to push 1, 2, 3, or 4 to get to somebody.
Now we do have a call tree. It's mostly
Right.
for the leasing calls, but
Okay.
Our investors and landlords, they have my direct number. Yeah.
Awesome. And then do you go out and meet your clients face to face?
Absolutely. Sometimes I invite them down to the office. We take them to lunch.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. So tell everybody Again, the address for your website and what social media sites you're on.
Texas Lone Star Property Management .com, and we're on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Texas Lone Star Property.
He will be on Google and LinkedIn and YouTube by the end of May. Promise. And how do they get a hold of you? What's your phone number and email address?
Mohsen is Mohsen at TexasLoneStarPropertyManagement.com. Business phone is 832-833-1032, and then my cell is 281-701-7357.
Awesome. Thank you very much for being on the podcast. I appreciate you coming down on Good Friday. Guys, real estate agents, I've been preaching this since I was with Empire. If you're not working with real estate investors, you should. Talk to Mohsen first if you've never had any experience with it, and add property management referral to your business model so you can increase your passive income and make more money. Let Mohsen at Texas Lone Star Property Management make you look good when you work with your investors, because when they make you look good, then you look good to your clients and you get to help them buy more properties. So give me the phone number one more time.
832-833-1032, or my cell is 281-701-7357.
Texas Lone Star Property Management, guys, give them a call or call me and I'll hook you up with them. This has been episode number 92 of Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective. I'm very glad you tuned in. You guys have a great Easter. Again, thank you to Jennifer, Caitlin, Devaney, Van, and Kate, and everybody that works with me. You guys all have a great Easter weekend. We'll see you guys next week. And remember, I always say, if you are a real estate agent and you need title services and you're not using Stewart Title, shame on you. I will find you and I will call you. And you don't want to have that conversation. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Bye. Good job.